10 to 20,000 tokens. Actually, in the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar, it's called the euro, it's called the yen. They're all digital right now.
This is the hard-to-swallow truth about why crypto crashed in the US and is soon to be completely taken down by regulators, but also the real reason why regulators are now enforcing actions against Binance and Coinbase. And I promise, it's not what you think. You know, the man who says we don't need more digital currency is also responsible for enforcing these actions, but you probably don't know yet that Gary Gensler is also shorting the markets while he's doing it. In case you haven't seen this before, Gary Gensler changed his position entirely over the past 5 years, from being a crypto-friendly professor lecturing at MIT with 100% clarity about what is a security and what is a commodity.
So we already know in the US and in many other jurisdictions that 3/4 of the market are not what we call securities, even in the US, Canada, and Taiwan, the 3 jurisdictions that follow something similar to the Howey test that we've talked about. 3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just a commodity, a cash crypto.
To then become this guy?
During your tenure at the SEC, how many rules has the SEC finalized that actually accommodate the existing regulatory framework and are specifically to the digital asset industry so the crypto market can come into compliance?
It's our rule books that are on the books for years, so we have not finalized any new rule specifically with regard to crypto. We've proposed some things in best execution. We've also...
Sir, reclaiming my time, the answer is 0. And how many enforcement actions has the SEC levied against digital asset companies during your tenure, sir?
I think it's probably 40 or 50.
The answer, sir, is about 55. My understanding is that the biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir. Reclaiming my time, you were. When were you telling the truth? To Mr. Hill or to me? You've got to start answering these questions in a more transparent manner, sir. Does it concern you, by the way, that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
Trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws, then they shouldn't be offering their products.
Reclaiming my time. Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP.
How would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you,
years,
sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to any one.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to
facts.
one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in the
I'm asking
middle,
about one.
The public is anticipating a profit based on the...
I'm asking you a specific question, Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of individuals...
I'm asking you about the facts and the law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also...
But you have prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset.
So how did he go from a man teaching what is a security to a man with amnesia that couldn't make a clear reply in Congress? What if he's doing everything on purpose? In recent news, Gary Gensler has been caught in severe allegations. Coinbase possesses evidence supporting the claims that Gensler took over 2.5 million in short positions in Bitcoin in just 48H, right when the enforcement actions against Binance and Coinbase became public. This led to an ongoing investigation around the credibility of the SEC, the primary regulatory organization for financial and securities markets in the U.S., and the chairperson, Mr. Gensler. If this proves to be accurate, Gary Gensler should be fired and responsible for both criminal and civil penalties, as market manipulation is illegal. This is the real reason behind the regulatory mess in the U.S., creating fear and crashing the crypto markets to the point of no return if things don't change soon. Every time we get massive news from the Fed or the SEC, the crypto markets react. And even though the U.S. is not the whole world, these decisions severely affect the market sentiment, leading to a snowball of price crashes and ruined investments. This is just the beginning. Several other pieces of evidence show a darker plan behind everything happening for the past few months, including the collapse of FTX and crypto-friendly banks. Watch this video now for more insights on those, and don't forget to share this video everywhere. Thanks.